Salve, Dartonians, and welcome back to the Wandering Larper. As always, I'm your host, Salvatore. On tonight's episode of the Wandering Larper, we're going to discuss how to get involved with plot at a LARP, how to maximize out every event so you're involved in everything that your plot team has cooked up. And without further ado, let's jump right into the episode. So your game's plot team has been cooking up this awesome adventure and storyline in between events. And they have all sorts of monsters they're going to launch at you and NPCs. Now, it's most critical at a game if you want to get involved to pick up and ascertain who are the NPCs, because the NPCs are who plot sends out to hook you into the module. Now, the term hook means to go out and garner interest from the player. So let's say the character is a pirate and he's Captain Robinson, and he wants to go out and find a couple of people that are ready to adventure and plunder with him. Will you join his crew? Now, at that point, you have a choice in the LARP. You can, kind of stay in town and battle monsters as they're coming at you, or you can go with that NPC and he's going to bring you on to some type of developed module. Now, the developed module means that plot has set a whole bunch of monsters and usually a little bit of special treasure there, and you're going to go out with your friends and you're going to fight or solve the puzzles on that module, and that's going to give you something either prize-wise or information-wise that's going to have to do with the overall large story. So now the overall large story that plot has created, they kind of put little clues in there as to what it is so you can kind of see the mystery and the storyline unfold. Now, those clues are usually presented to you through the modules. So it's very important, if you want to get involved with what your plot team is doing, to go on as many modules as possible. Usually in an American LARP, we start Friday night and run modules from Friday night all the way through Saturday night, late night, and then stop. And within that time, there's usually, 10 or 15 different modules going on. So you're going to want to get involved with as many of those as possible. Some you're just going to do with a couple of your friends. Some will be more large scale, and you'll have to do it with, a larger percentage of town, because you're going to need healers, you're going to need rogues, you're going to need warriors and shields on the front lines. It's going to be a little bit more difficult, but for the most part, the more you apply yourself out there and the more you interact with the NPCs, the closer you're going to get to the plot line and the more enjoyment you're going to have in an American LARP. If you're not going out on these hooked modules, you're pretty much going to be hanging out around town. And that's cool if that's your thing. But hanging out around town usually just means you're going to do some light role playing with other players. You're going to battle low-level monsters as they're coming at you from plot, and you're not going to be doing too much storyline. So when there's a big storyline going on, you're kind of going to be in the dark for it. And, you're going to be going just through the motions of the LARP as opposed to really connecting with what the plot team's doing and really enjoying the storyline that they've developed for you. Another thing that's very critical to getting involved with your local plot team is in between game actions, or the IGA. That's where you're writing into plot, letting them know what your movements are when you're not in play, kind of playing your character out of play, in play, but you're doing this with your plot team. So let's say your goal is to reach the moon pool because you want to become a werewolf. You're letting your local plot team know that in between events, your character is seeking out this moon pool. So if your plot is reading the emails from the players, They love to interact with you guys when you guys write into them. So at the next event, don't be surprised if you meet an NPC that brings you to the moon pool. So that's the critical part of in-between game actions. Again, I can't preach this enough. The more involved you are with your plot team, the more fun you're going to have that season. The last critical phase of getting involved with the storyline and the plot team is to get involved with the other players. The other players are also involved with aspects of the plot line. And if you try to assist or get involved or just see how you can lend a hand, most other players will be really happy to get you involved, and you'll see what they've been working on in the storyline and also help with information of what you've been working on in the storyline, which will give you a broader picture of it all. You'll start finding the LARP more enjoyable versus just dressing up and walking around hitting things with swords. You'll now be immersed in a storyline. I hope all of these tips have helped you out and will help you out and will get you more involved with your local plot team and your LARP storyline. As always, I'm the Wandering Larper. Keep on LARPing.